What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're working on my video editor, and today the topic is trying to do some sort of like UI and quality of life improvements. So this is the video editor. We have an audio, like a timeline on the bottom. We have a script on the right. If you like control click on sections on the bottom, you can like create clips. And the idea is that we want to be able to take these clips and export them into one video, right? So we want to be able to take like a 2-hour VOD, cut it down quickly and efficiently, and create like maybe like a 20-minute segment that we can like upload to YouTube, something like that. The pitch for the project is that this script that we've auto-generated on the right should be an easier way to navigate the video and to create clip segments than working through the video itself, right? So if I go like, hey, I want to look at this section here. So pitch for the project. I can just like click there and jump there, which is pretty sick, we don't have any like clipping UI in this side yet, and it's like pretty bare bones. And so that's what we want to fix today, is that we want to like make it so that it's like a little nicer to work with the text view of this thing versus the audio view. So yeah, I think the biggest thing is there's no way to like really view where you are in this thing, and it's really easy to get like lost. So I'm kind of thinking that like, as you use this thing, you're going to start at the beginning. You're going to be like kind of scrolling through text or maybe scrubbing through audio, and you're going to hit play and you're going to like do your work here. You're either going to be doing your work here or like up here, right? And so I think the first thing I want to do is I want to be able to like correlate those two things easily. And I'm kind of thinking just for now, maybe if I seek on the audio timeline down here, this text on the right should move along with it. And if I seek on this timeline over here, we should see that like this should automatically snap to where in the text that I looked for. We should also show some form of like progress bar in the text, so we know where we are in text space. We have to figure out where we are. We know where we are in time space. We need to be able to convert that into text space and just like show some sort of indicator in the text. And if we get through like kind of that type of improvement, the other things that I want to look at is like, I might select a chunk of text like this, and I might go like, I don't want this chunk of text in there. And right now there's no easy way to like do that. You kind of have to like shorten this clip and then add one. It would be nice to just be able to like split it, and in the vice versa would also be good. Like I might like cut out this dead chunk of audio, and I might go like, I don't like that part, and I might want to like overlap them, and these should like automatically merge together is kind of what I'm thinking. So yeah, that's the plan for the day. Those of you who have been following along, you might notice that the subtitle generation is a little bit better than it was yesterday. It's because off screen I did a little bit of like heuristic tweaking, and I changed the split heuristic to go from gaps in audio to just like if it sees a period or a question mark or an exclamation mark. And that seems pretty good. Like when I'm scrolling through this, it actually feels like readable to me now, which is a huge improvement from yesterday. So happy there. All right, 3 minutes in, and I think we can just start moving. I guess before that, I should read these chat messages that I've been neglecting. What's up, you guys? What's up, you know? New lines is so much better. Yeah, sorry. I apologize for doing that off screen, but I wasn't sure how much like just boring tweaking it was going to be. And so it's kind of one of those things where if it was going to take a long time, it wouldn't have been very fun on stream. And if it was fast, then there's no point in doing it on stream. So it's just like, I'll just fucking do it off stream. It's fine. Yeah, okay. I guess I'll adjust this time. 0340. Okay, so in order to show timeline on the right now we can click on this thing, and we have some sort of lookup in our like word timestamp map that says like, hey, I clicked on this character at position like, 1000. What timestamp is that? And so we need to go the other way though, and we can say like, okay, our player is currently at this position in time. Which character is that? And we don't have that lookup right now. So the first thing we have to do is like add that lookup. Sorry. Does it make more sense to have a modifier key script click in the script or waveform to indicate that the other should jump to the cursor? Might be easier than having to search through text without losing your place. I think that probably if you're seeking, you want it to move. But you're right that maybe there's some sort of like, maybe you don't always want that. And I'll be aware of that. But in reality, this thing is for me. And so if I'm okay with it jumping around when I click, then I will just leave it like that because I am the only user of this thing that I care about. Sorry, everyone else in the world, but I make stuff for me, so it is what it is. Okay. So for anyone who has not been following along, we have most of our app is written in Zig because I feel like it. And then at some point we stapled on a GUI and we pulled in Rust for the GUI plus the eGUI library. And the idea here was that we just wanted like a way to lay out text and get its character and pixel coordinates, and eGUI is like the GUI framework that I saw that like allowed me to do that. And I looked at a few other ones, but eGUI was the one that I saw that looked like it would be easy. So we have this like CFFI, FFI to like translate between them. And so like we will pass like some objects from Zig over to Rust and some objects from Rust over to Zig, and they'll like use those objects in function calls of the FFI. So when we say that we want to do like character to timestamp lookup or timestamp to character lookup, we need to add a new function in that FFI. So we have one right here that's like get time for some character, and we should just do another one that's like get car pause given some time. What percentage would you say it's done right now? I think like mostly there, to be honest. I think that there's only going to be, the only major feature that I feel like I'm missing is the ability to play back quickly. Other than that, it feels like almost usable. So probably what'll happen is we'll get through like this UI shit. We'll probably then move on to like audio, like figuring how to play back at a faster speed without altering audio pitch. That'll probably be a little bit of time. But then after that, I'm probably gonna like just try dogfooding it for a bit and see like if I just use it there and I'm happy with it, then we'll stop, right? And we'll probably have to just work on something else while I'm testing. Okay. So we added, what was the function that we added? Get car pause. Get car pause. Is there anything to show at the moment? Yeah, but I will probably not because I just showed it. Apologies. Pub function, but if you stick around, it'll show up at some point again. But who knows how long? Okay, and then we take in the PTS. And this is a F32, and we return a U64. Okay. This is probably going to look very similar to the time version, because this stuff is just laid out, kind of sorted, as like, we call whisper a bunch of times. It gives us like words, right? And we stick those along with their timestamps in like some array. And because of the way that it's like spitting out words that come out sequentially, we're pretty much guaranteed, this isn't like 100% true, but it's like true enough, that words will be in order. So when we go from time to character position, we just like binary search for the closest character position to the one that we asked for that is like aligned with some word boundary. And we can just do the same thing, but for time. So here we're going to take in the PTS that they're searching for. We are still going to search through all of the segments that have like the character positions and stuff. We're just, instead of looking for a character position, we're just going to look for a PTS start. So like the start of the word in seconds. So this says, hey, we are less than this word if our time is less than the time that word starts. And then at the end of this, we return what? So before we were returning the thing before, right? Because when we use upper bound, this is the first element that is greater than the timestamp we asked for. The first element that is greater than or equal to the timestamp we asked for. Greater than or equal to? Not less than. Yes, greater than or equal to. And then we went backwards by one. Why? Why did we go backwards by one? Because... No, I don't... I guess because we wanted to look at the thing less than the character index. Sure, that seems fine. Seems fine. So we'll just do the same thing here, and instead of returning the timestamp that we start at, we just return the character position. And is this a usize? So we have to intcast this, so intcast this. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Simple. Simple, simple, simple. Oops, wrong button. I was off by one on my keyboard. Hard life. And now from our GUI code, we just have to call this. So how do we want to handle that? Let's maybe, in the section where we show the text, I wonder if we can just temporarily find the character. We'll look at the current timestamp, we'll find the character that aligns with that timestamp, and then we'll just draw a rectangle around it for now. That seems reasonable to me. Okay, so we will do something like state. Ugh, okay, I'm pissed off. We turned off Rust Analyzer because it was causing a lot of RAM usage, and we were worried that was fucking up our disk, like our compile times, because things would come out of disk cache, etc., etc. But it's too much of a pain in the ass, so let's just try tanking that cost again and seeing if that is unbearable. If our compile times are too long, we will revert back again. But man, do I like having auto-completion. He says with no auto-completion. It's on. So what we were doing, we were saying C bindings, word timestamp map. It's autocomplete still not working. We're just tanking memory costs for no reason. Get car pause for the current state dot. I don't know what it is. We can see it's in here. It's in here somewhere. Current position. There we go. Auto completion is back, baby. And here we need to pass in as well the word timestamp map. This. It's thinking it's a hard life. Yeah, he's thinking it's a hard life. I do say that a lot, huh? It's almost like verbal tics. They just come out every time there's any dead space. He's thinking it's a hard life. Okay, so this should give us some sort of character position. And what are we going to do with this thing? I guess we're going to try to find... So this is like the current... position... Current car pause? I may, like, hopefully that doesn't collide with anything. Now, we are going to have to walk each chunk of text, which is pre-laid out in a galley. And we're basically going to say, let galley pause, let layout pause, let galley start. Yeah, let's do that. This is a mutable thing, and we are going to have to accumulate these. So the idea is that we kind of lay out each paragraph independently. There was a reason for this. I don't remember exactly what it is. I think it was just that it made injecting text easier, right? So if you like inject new lines, if you have like A, B, C, D, and you inject a new line, now all of a sudden, if you keep going forward, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, if you want to like look at the index of this character in the source string, now you have to like strip out this new line. So instead of like injecting new lines in the text and laying out the text, we lay out each paragraph or each sentence, however we're splitting things up, we lay them out independently. And somewhere in here, so what that means is that like the top left of each of these rectangles is at 0. And so when we click here, we get its position. What do we do here? We have our... Yes. So we get our position relative to the top left here. And how do we convert back to character position here? If galley rows... Right. So we know which galley we're in. And have we like accumulated position? No. How do we know? Car pause, start IDX. Oh, I see. So we actually store as well the character index for each of these as well. So we know... Perfect. So we don't actually have to accumulate anything here. We already know the galley start. I just didn't know that. So we can say, maybe we should store the end position of the galley as well. Because we're going to have to know to render the position if we are between like here and here. Like if we have our character position is this thing, we need to know if we're within. And right now we only know if we are after it. So we should store the end position as well. Which is just, looks like this. End IDX is equal to text IDX min with slen. Because it looks like there's some cases where we can go over the bounds. Or over the end of the text length, so we just clamp it. End IDX. This becomes end IDX. probably as well. And we will store end IDX here as well. Normally, I would name these things, but I'm a lazy piece of shit sometimes, so what you gonna do, you know? It's unfixable, really. There's no way around it. Is the script still generated in a separate thread? What if you don't have the text for the position yet? Then I guess we won't render it. Yeah, it is not finished generating when we launch. That is true. That is a very real concern, but I think we won't find it, which is fine. So we can just say if current car pause is between. Is there a between in this language? No? Damn. Is greater than or equal to start IDX or current or and current and is less than or equal to end IDX. We just draw a rectangle somewhere. So I guess we look at the galley and we say let relative car pause or galley car pause, that sounds right, is equal to current car pause minus start index. He's mad because this guy is a U64, so we'll just turn him into a usize and type as usize and then yell at ourselves if this ever doesn't cast properly instead of doing a try into unwrap. Fine, we'll do a try into unwrap. Ugh, why not? At least we'll crash then. That's a little better. A little better. Not a lot better, but a little bit better than undefined behavior. I guess it would be pretty well defined. It would just be that we truncate and we just do the wrong thing. But I still think crashing is better than doing the wrong thing. I'm a fan of crashing. Okay, so now we have to like iterate over all the rows in the galley to find which row our character is in. So we can say for, let's see, let mute, I don't know, accumulator. I don't know, man. Let's see, for row is equal 0. And we can say while galley row. I guess this is while ac is less than something. While true. This is just an infinite loop. Is this Rust? Yes, this part is Rust. The GUI is in Rust. The rest of the app is in Zig. We were just going to say ac plus equals galley rows at the current row. What is in this thing? A row, which has one glyph per character, so we can just say glyphs len. If ac is greater than galley car pause, we break. Boom. And I guess we also they don't like parentheses in this language. And for some reason he's angry here. Syntax error. No, he's just stupid. Okay. And then row plus equals 1. And I guess we also have to say if row is greater than galley rows len. I guess we'll just panic for now. This row index out of bounds. This should never happen. Right? Because this check should ensure that we're always in bounds. But, you know, sometimes things don't go the way you want. Oh my god, fine, I'll take off the parentheses. I feel like the parentheses make it nicer for me, but I guess if you don't want them, we don't have to use them. And then we just do the same thing. I guess we can just directly jump into the character position. So galley car pause is going to be offset into the row somehow. So maybe we want this. Let row len is equal to this. Right? Then we can here check if ac plus row len is greater than this, and then we can make sure that accumulator tells us which character index the start of the row is. So here we will just say that this is when we add the accumulator. So now we say row pause is equal to the galley car pause minus the accumulator. And then here we can just go glyph, or we can just look at the row. So galley rows row glyphs at row pause. Yeah, I guess calling this a call makes more sense. That's clear. And then we should know where this thing is. Yeah, we have some position. And let's just draw a rectangle there. UI painter rect filled at this glyph pause. So let glyph is equal to this, maybe. And let's just kind of see what this guy gives us. He gives us a position and a size. Position and size of the glyph in the font texture in texels, so this isn't what we want. We probably want, like, its position relative to the galley. And I don't know if it's going to go right and down or right and up. But probably right and down. Hopefully. I guess it's baseline position, though. Position relative to the galley. Pause Y is the same for all characters of the same text format. So how do I know? How do I know? Hey, I'm missing something. Won't the zig function return the character position of the first character in a word? Yeah, but we don't have to. We don't have to go character by character. We can just log word by word, and that's fine. So like if I have like text that's like A, B, C, and then like G, right? Y, like caret symbol, right? How do I know the bounds of this thing? Right? Because he has a size, and the size is. So the baseline position of the character is like here, 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 I assume. And then the size is like, oh, I guess it's the size is just going this way. Because it's saying the advanced width and height, not the visual size of the glyph. Position of size of the glyph in the font texture. Ah, okay, so in this UV rect, they tell us where the top left corner is. But I guess also all of this doesn't fucking matter. Right? Because we just want to draw like some sort of indicator anywhere. Really. So for now, maybe I'll just draw like a little rectangle like this, like a little cursor. Just for now, which means that we're going to have to go up some amount of distance, like given our font size. But we can figure that out eventually. For now, I don't give a shit. The classic around this channel is that I won't do something because I don't give a shit. That's the only common theme. Okay, so we'll call this bottom left is equal to the glyph pause. And now we just need to get our top right. So this is going to be BL, we're going to say top is equal to BLY minus some amount, right? It doesn't fucking matter for now. We'll try something. This will have to get tuned later, but we'll just start with something. And let right is equal to BL.x plus 2. I don't know. So then we have our rect. So our rect is going to be EGUI rect. Is there like some sort of like from points? From XY ranges, from center size, from min-max. Min-max, I guess, is probably what we want. From 2 pause. I'm assuming from 2 pause. Oh, this is, I see. This is a bounding rectangle, which is essentially the same as from min-max, but not 100% the same. Okay. So I guess we need top left and bottom right. So I guess we'll just do this. We'll just say that the left is this dot x, top is our bottom is this dot y, and then we can just do EGUI pause 2, and this is the left top, and this is going to be the right bottom. Okay. Assuming that y increases down, which I think it does, but I can never remember. It's always different. Let cursor, as we go to this, cursor rect, I guess, and we case the cursor rect like this. And what else is going to take? Rounding, 0. Fill color, EGUI, color 32, yellow. Yeah, sure. And this should be bottom left. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Either it's fucked, or it looks okay. He probably wants 0.0. Needs it to be a float. Fuck. Get car pause doesn't exist, but we made it in Word timestamp generator. We put it right here. WTM get car pause. WTM get car pause. Oh, export. We have to export the function. If we don't export the function, how does it know it exists? Fuck! Length is 1, but the index is 1, 692. Or, yeah, 692. Over here. 692. Yeah, that makes sense. Row length is glyphs, rows, row, so this has to be greater than or equal to. And then he'll panic, he'll say that this should never fucking happen. Which is confusing. Maybe this is also greater than or equal to? Let's see. Let's see. It'll probably still crash. I'm not really convinced that we've solved the problem. Yeah, so the length is 0, but the index is 0. So how come the current car pause is greater than or equal to the start index and greater than and less than end index? Because if start and end are both 0, then the end is the length is 0. So it needs to be less than. Yo, it's okay. That's promising. And if I click here, nothing is. We see nothing. We see nothing. So let's see if we get anything here. So let's at least go here, and we'll say, nope, not to debug print line. Found glyph, and we have some sort of debug glyph. Rect. Pause. Let's start there. If it'll recompile fast enough, we don't have to get crazy. Okay, so he is saying that he found a glyph position, and the position looks good. Found glyph at 8840. And are these relative? These are relative to the top left of the galley, which means that they need to be adjusted somehow for the galley position. So we need to do this after we actually lay out the galley. We put the galley into the thing. So we need to do this here, and then we can add the rect position. So this is plus response rect left plus response rect bottom. Then this stuff should stay the same. Let's see if that looks any better. Yo, what's up, what's up? Oh, okay, that's something. It's not right. But it's not... It looks like it's tracking on X. No, it's not really tracking anywhere, huh? What the fuck is this doing? What's up? Welcome back, everybody. What is it doing? Okay. Lots wrong here. But we're on track. We're drawing something on the screen somewhere. So let's maybe log also the row call. And if we just click at the very beginning, we should see all sorts of reasons that we fucked up. Yo. Okay. So row 0, call 0. That's a really good sign. He also thinks that the glyph is being drawn at 017. I read chat. I'm just ignore stuff that I don't really want to answer. Because my view on this is that it's my stream and I'm in control. So if it's just something I don't want to talk about, I just don't talk about it. You know? You know? Okay, so Row 1, column 10. This is clearly wrong. Today we're working. At the very least here, though, when we click on Yo, row 0, column 0 feels right. So in this case, I don't know why it's not rendering in the right spot at all. This is like completely in the wrong fucking spot. Okay. So can we maybe we'll say, oh, this would be top. That would do it. That would do it. We're supposed to be rendering from the top left of the rectangle, not the bottom left of the rectangle. Yo, what's up, what's up, what's up? Okay. Back, everybody. Oh, fuck. Index out of bounds. 712. So here, he probably doesn't, it looks like he doesn't like call, probably. So we'll just clamp this. Glyph len. And I guess we'll take the minimum of this in glyphs len. And we need to actually look at galley rows at row. There we go. Thoughts on OCaml? Never used it. Never used it. I did one time. My friend would not stop bitching about a project written in OCaml to mount his Google Drive locally. And he's like, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Fuck OCaml. I'm like, I don't think that the OCaml's fault that the program doesn't work. Yo. But it was so long ago that I don't really remember the details, and that's all I know about it. Welcome back. Which is not helpful. Okay, so this is somewhat tracking, at least a little bit. There's definitely bugs here, for sure, right? Like when I click on and, it is going over here. It looks like it's kind of going like before the word, which is kind of what I asked for. Maybe after the word kind of fits a little better. Let's try that. Which would be in word timestamp generator. Let's just try not doing this -1 here. And are we actually looking at... Do we want the end of the word, not the start of the word? No, the end is fine. What is the main goal of the video editor? To edit my videos. To edit my videos. So if I have long VOD, I want to be able to basically quickly and efficiently turn them into something short by whatever means necessary, right? So I think that reading text is going to be the effective way to do that, and so that's what I'm working on. But, you know, I could be wrong. Okay, that feels pretty okay. Well, yeah, that feels okay. Having it at the end of the word, I think that's like working. Canadian Live, just to see if I could like cut it down, and it was pretty rough. Like I felt like it was going to take much longer to editing than it would to actually produce the. There's something about this that's slow as fuck. I'm sure. Like I don't know why, but whatever the fuck happened there is like a problem. Oh, it's because I'm thrashing. It's because my disk is getting thrashed, and I'm spending time in our init thread writing out debug info that I don't need, and that's probably blocking a bunch of other stuff. Yo, what's up, what's up, what's up? Okay. So, pitch for the project is that, can we mute me? Like, shut the fuck up. It's fine. Yeah, I think that's mostly working. We want the cursor to be a little bit bigger, probably. So let's maybe make him a little larger. So, -20 and +3. I don't know. Who fucking cares? It just needs to be good enough. I was considering also doing maybe like something underneath. Looks like a little arrow or something. You need to open a GoFundMe to get a UI designer. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on, you know, if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for me, right? And it's like, I'm not gonna fucking hire a UI designer for a program I wrote for myself. That's too big. But maybe 15 is the line for now. And I actually think it needs to go down a little bit. Maybe this size, but a little below. A little below. So maybe we will bottom like +5. And maybe that'll feel better. Maybe. And maybe we'll wait a long time for this to compile. Oh yeah, that feels pretty good. What's up? Welcome back, everybody. That's fine. That's good enough. Oh, except for it's crashing. 712. 712. 712. Fuck off. I forgot to subtract 1. Every goddamn time. Every goddamn time we forget to subtract 1.
What's up,
okay.
Welcome
so where was that?
everybody.
That was like over here somewhere.
Today we're working on my video editor, and the topic for today
Yeah, I think
is
that's
trying
fine.
to work on a little bit of like a fancy timeline implementation.
Good enough. Good enough. Okay. Okay. So I think that's done. And let's make it now so that when I drag around here... Fuck! Okay. Where is this one? Index out of bounds. GDB. That audio preview doesn't look very helpful. You're wrong. I don't know what to say. It's very helpful. But it's fine. So at frame 8, I see. LM is probably this. Yeah, okay. Cool. That's easy to fix. So this is in Word timestamp generator. Here, we need to say if LM is greater than or equal to this thing's len, we return -1. Or I guess we have to do stud math max int of u64. And I guess we have to do the same thing over here. Except LM-1 will always give us something? Okay, that's fine. Where's the transcribed text come from? It's coming from Whisper CPP, which is a C++/C port of a neural network in PyTorch written by OpenAI called OpenAI Whisper. What's the timescale there? I mistakenly thought it was displaying audio being played in real time. No. Sorry, yeah, that's not clear. It's the waveform of the video, so hold on. If you like zoom in here, you can like clip stuff relative to like starts and ends of things, which is like important for if you're trying to like cut out dead space, right? That's the idea, at least. And then this was crashing when I went like way over here, and it looks like this is fine now. And then probably like here, if I just go past the end, nothing's rendered, which is perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. Okay. I'm sure we will find more crashes because I didn't try very hard to prevent them. But we will consider this done for now, and if it crashes again, we'll come back to it. Okay. Jump to seek position in both views on seek. Okay. So we can kind of make the assumption, right, so it starts zooming out the whole vid. Exactly. We can make the assumption, I think, that if I am seeking to somewhere at all, actually, let's get rid of these prints. Those are fucking annoying. Print line. Get this fucking out of here. Get it out of here! We can assume that if I'm clicking on somewhere on the timeline I'm seeking there, that I can see it on that timeline, right? So I think, basically always scrolling, if on a seek action, we scroll so that we're in view, that's valid for both versions of the timeline. Right? Even if I click here, it'll already be in view, so I don't have to worry about it. Although I guess we don't actually have the concept of a seek, like from the UI's perspective. Right? We have like app and GUI. And GUI will send over to the app like seek. And the app sends over to the GUI like I am here. Like, and he'll give like 10 seconds, right? And so like the GUI will he doesn't really know that the app did a seek. He just knows that he executed a seek. So we have to do something like, we have to like collect all of our seek requests, and before we send them, make sure that we synchronize our different UI elements. I think that's reasonable. I think that's reasonable. Because, like, I don't think there's any reason for the app to, in his state that he gives back every frame, to say, like, this is the last thing I did. I think that doesn't make sense. Because, like, the way it's working right now is that, like, the app is, like, doing his shit. He's, like, process UI, right? And then, like, read frames. And then, like, update stuff. Update. And he's just, like, kind of, like, doing this at, like, some frequency, right? He's just kind of, like, doing this as he needs to. And so if we, from the GUI, then were to ask him, like, hey, did you do a seek last frame? He wouldn't, like, know what last frame even means. You could like, stash things between, like, requests. So this guy does, like, a get snapshot. And I guess you could say, well, if between the last time that you requested the snapshot and now I did these actions, he could do that. And you could give, like, the actions IDs so that you could say, like, oh, I want to know when this action completes. But I don't think there's any reason for that. Any reasons docs you use to learn Nix? I think I know Nix very, very, very poorly. So I think that I'm probably just as lost as you are. Yeah, okay, so you could do it this way, where every time he says what he did, but I don't think there's any reason to do that. I think that we can just collect our events before we send them out and figure it out from there. So what is the easiest way to do that? Right now, on the GUI side, how does this work? How do I want to draw this? Right now, the GUI, so the app, one of the things he does is he says, like, get events. And the GUI right now has, like, a Rust channel, so, like, TX and RX, where he just kind of, like, buffers events. So this get events will, like, pull into this, like, reader of events. And the TX side, one of the things that we do is, like, seek please. And so we just kind of, like, pass this TX handle all over the place. So the problem with that is that, like, if in one section of the GUI code I send a seek, then, like, I have no way of really knowing, like, from the rest of the GUI, I don't know that happened. So there are, like, a couple things that we could do here. One is that we could, like, wrap this TX thing and basically say that, like, we could, like, inject some information, right? So every frame we could say, like, reset some state, say we haven't done anything. And then every time we could, like, add a function that's, like, seek to position, and he would, like, construct the right request, and he would, like, write down, he's like, I seeked over here. I seek to position 50 this frame. And so everybody who cares about that, you have to do something with it. Which would work. Another option is that instead of, like, this TX handle getting propagated all throughout the GUI, we could have it so that our GUI elements, like our progress bar, he could, like, return actions. So he could say, like, seek please seek. And then the parent could be like, okay, sure. Since you asked so nicely, I will dispatch this event into this queue. And then what that means is that, like, you could coordinate between all of the different widgets, and you could say, like, oh, this guy asked for a seek, which means that this other guy needs to be updated to match that. I'm not sure which one I like more. I think that it's lower friction to wrap this guy in somebody who keeps track of it and then just, like, ask it at the end of each frame. I just don't like architecturally, I think it's kind of wrong to send this TX handle everywhere, right? Like, I think, like, in terms of, like, separation of responsibilities, right? You shouldn't have your audio progress, your, like, audio rendering widget shouldn't also execute requests to the app, right? That's, like, it's kind of, like, more responsibility than he has. But is it any different than if he returns a guy saying, like, hey, could you seek for me, please? And then somebody else does that? I don't know. It's not really, like, I guess maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. Let's do that. So let's make something that's like a struct app requester request queue action requester action requestor. Ugh, gross name, but I don't know what else Action requester. Because he requests things. Yeah, okay, fine. That's fine. And then we'll just kind of do something like he's got this thing in here, the action sender. And I guess we will just call something that's like send. And he will send like some sort of action request. Yup. How do you use this language again? Like this? This doesn't even go here. This goes into impl block. I am so lost. I've been bouncing around languages too much. So he's gonna say like self. He needs to take in self here, which is not this. That's the other language. In this language, you just write and mute self like this, and it figures it out for you. Then you write action tx send. I actually don't even know if this has to be mutable, but it will have to be mutable later, so we will make it that way. And he sends the action, which is fine. But before he does that, maybe he matches the action. And if he sees C bindings or action, I guess we're matching on the tag of the action, because the action could have some sort of associated state that we don't actually give a fuck about, unless it's a seek. So if we see C bindings GUI action tag GUI action seek, then we do something. And what are we gonna do? Otherwise, we just do nothing. We don't give a fuck. And we'll maybe over here have a seek position, which is an option F32, which is the position in seconds. And we will yoink that data out here. Action dot something. Data dot seek position. There we go. So we'll just say self seek pause equal to something like this. Something unsafe. We need unsafe because it's a union. Scary unsafe unions. Tag GUI action seek get we. It's almost like that's not even a sentence. Did I say that? I hope I didn't say that. That sounds, no offense to you, stupid. But if I did say that, that's kind of funny. It is funny that you said it too. Unwrap. That poor guy from earlier who's like, this guy just ignored all my questions, he must not read chat. I'm like, no, I only read the stuff I want to read because I think that it's more interesting, and I chose to read seek gyat hui over actual real questions. The bar is fucked. Okay. This guy doesn't like that there's an extra brace here. Fine. We will reduce the indentation. And then probably at the beginning of each frame, reset state. Do I use underscores in this language? I think I do. Maybe we'll do this, and we'll just say self seek pause equals to null. Nope, none in this language, and he takes in self by mutable reference. Like this. Okay, and then our action tx is going to get wrapped in this thing. So this is going to become a action requester. And this is going to become action tx is action requester action tx. Okay, and seek pause none. What theme is this? This is Sonic, but really fucked up. We have term GUI colors off, and we're using the default Alacrity color scheme, I think, which makes it look a lot like Growthbox, but it does not Growthbox. But and I don't know. I could turn term GUI colors on, but like now it just how ew. I don't like it anymore. So I'm sure at some point I actually wanted that color scheme, and then at another point I got used to whatever the fuck this is after I reinstalled my system at some point. Yeah, okay. Okay, so everywhere we had like sender of C bindings GUI action kind of being passed around. Probably we are going to want to wrap this with our like action requester. Almost every. So progress bar for sure. This thing for sure. Handle response. This, yeah, all of this will want that thing. This guy does not. This guy does not. GUI inner. What is GUI inner? Oh, this is, we use this when we're like constructing the GUI from Zig's side, so he's actually going to want the actual thing. Everybody else uses this thing. Okay. Now everybody was calling like unwrap on this guy, and we don't have to do that anymore because we unwrap inside him. That sounds wrong in some way. I don't know exactly how, but I don't like it. Okay. Compile errors, compile errors. So many unwraps that we don't need anymore. Okay, search for dot unwrap. And we'll just kind of like, fuck. This guy's gone, this guy's gone. Nope, not that one. This one, yes. Okay. Are there more? There are more. This guy. This guy's gone as well. And this guy. Is that it? No, because action TX is behind an and reference. What is going on here? Oh, so these need to be mute now. A is mute here. Mute goes here. Okay. This guy also needs him as and mute. And then this guy needs him as and mute. This. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So many changes need to be made. Oh my god. I watched Eurovision like 2 years ago because my friend wanted me to. And this guy said, oh my god, and he sang it. And so now, every time I think, oh my god, I have to think of that guy. His song kind of sucked. Live. So I don't know how it's so burrowed in my brain. But it's in there. Why not use quick fix list? Probably because I didn't know how to get the language server set up to integrate with it. And I just like searched like LSP error neovim and found some plugin. That famous sax guy gif is from Eurovision. Yeah. That's a classic. A classic. Okay. So now we have to say like function did seek and frame seek pause. Sure. And so we'll return an option F32 and he will just return self seek pause. That's fine. I'm okay with this. Okay, so now at the beginning of each frame, we're going to say, hey, reset state. And then at the end of this, we can ask, this gets tricky. This gets tricky because you need to ask each widget, like each widget to like scroll to the right spot. And I don't actually remember how to do that. I think in eGUI, you can like work with the response that came out of it. I think there's like a scroll to me. Which will work in the text view because we're using a scroll area. But I guess this won't work in the non-text area because we're not using a scroll view. I guess kind of we could have not done all of this, actually, and just typed scroll to me on the scroll area response. We could just have we could have just gone into the where was this? It was here in this like massive chunk of unorganized code. Jesus, this is ugly. Hard to follow. But it was in here. I wonder if you could do like UI scroll to rect. we could have just done this from the start. Which is kind of funny. Yeah, I guess we didn't have to do any of this piping.
That he is that like
Oh, that actually is just
code
perfect.
already
We could have skipped
here.
all of that work we just
Say,
did. And
response
we should
is
have skipped
pointer
all of that
down
work we
on
just did.
is
Oh, that's kind of hype.
or less time. Self-center.
Yeah, that's actually
Here,
super
maybe
hype.
we have to set the width first, then we set the center, and then the center will be
Let's see what it looks like as it like goes over the edge.
which is a confusing API, but that does seem
Oh, that's
to be
sick.
it.
Wait, that's actually so hype.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, that's actually perfect.
Okay.
Oh, but that's not perfect. Oh no, it's actually really bad. No, wait, this is really not good. I see. That's why we only wanted to do it on Seek, huh? But we could just stash. We could just do this. So we reset the state at the start of the frame, but we could just say let seek pause is equal to self action tx dot seek pause. What do we call it? Frame seek pause. And this will give us, if we did a seek in the last frame, we'll like have this now, and then we reset the state. And then we can just pass that from the last frame everywhere. I'm learning to code. I want to make a text editor to see from scratch. I don't know how to even start. How do you help with that? I think you just have to, like, there's a lot of, like, pieces you got to piece together there, right? Like, how are you going to, like, display text on the screen is, like, the first question you have to ask. And I think you just have to, like, break down the problem into smaller problems that you can Google over and over again. Asking ChatGPT, like that guy said in chat, is also useful. Also, I guess looking at what other people do is somewhat useful, but as a beginner, it's probably hard to, like, grok a big code base of a real text editor. There's a nice step-by-step tutorial for this. Oh yeah, that's a good point too. I don't think I've never been the type to look up like coding tutorials, so that's never even occurred to me. That you could just be like, I will follow this guy's blog on how to write a text editor. But that makes a lot of sense if you're learning, for sure. I've always just been more of a like slam your face into the brick wall type of guy, where you just like, eventually you'll break a hole through with your forehead. It'll just hurt a lot. Okay. So, our progress bar. What is self-seek state? What the fuck is this? Oh, okay, yeah. It's fine. So here we'll just pass in the seek position. And here we'll take in a seek pause and say option F32. And then here, he's gonna do something. But actually, let's start with the text side. I like the text side better. So we'll say, all of the this just has to say if let some seek pause. Oh, we don't even need the seek position, to be honest. We only need a boolean. We'll call this scroll to seek, and this will return a boolean. Scroll to seek, and this will be called scroll to seek. And this will set it to false. And I guess we don't need a function for this. We'll just set this to be true. Calling it scroll to seek is kind of wrong. Let's call it a scroll to cursor. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. That's starting to sound okay. Okay, so we say, hey, do I want to scroll to the cursor? And if I do, I'll do it. Which is just down here. We just say, if scroll to cursor, scroll to cursor. Wow, it's so simple. It's so simple. So what that should let us do is it should let us kind of scroll through the text. Boom, boom, boom. Nothing crazy happening. I click here. That fucked up. That fucked us. Oh, interesting. Oh, fuck me. So what's happening is we're saying like, hey, I need to scroll to the cursor because last frame I asked for a seek. But the current position of the video has not caught up with that request yet. And so it scrolls to the wrong spot. So after all of that, where I just removed that option that was holding the seek position, I lied. I want that back. I want that back bad. So we will just put it back. Scroll to PTS is equal to none. And here it was scroll to PTS is equal to sum. Action, data, seek position. Okay. Now scroll to whatever the fuck cursor. Scroll to PTS. Now instead, the cursor position thing, this is going to change. So we're going to say if let sum PTS is equal to scroll to PTS. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We are going to have to construct a location of that thing. So that should just be, we should just be able to go, I guess all of this code that we have to like find the position of the cursor, we need to do this again for the scroll position, right? Because we need to know where in the text we are from a timestamp. Yes, which is basically what all of this does. Which means, oh, gross, that's ugly. Can we split this way instead? We just kind of split a function for it, which is this. So maybe we say function something. I don't know what yet. So what does this look like? We have our current character position, and we are checking if it is within the galley. So we're gonna say like we have galley UI pause for car to UI position. Does that make sense? We have the current position in character pause. Sorry, in character space. We have the current position in time space, and we have the seek position in time space. So we want to go from seek position time space, time to text space, time pause to text pause. There we go. There we go. That sounds like what I want. So this is going to start at... So we're going to take in a float. And we're going to return an EGUI rect. Why not? That feels about right. And so this is going to be kind of... We're also going to be like... This is based off of like each rendered galley. And so maybe we're going to take in like the galley that we are looking at, as well as the position of that galley. Galley top left is going to be an EGUI pause 2. Which means that probably we're going to want to do this conversion once. So we're going to want to go like let seek pause seek car pause is equal to like the seek pause, which, what do we call it? Scroll to PTS. Scroll car pause is scroll to PTS mapped to something else. And I guess we want to as ref this. So we do this, and then we do this. Boom. This is a U size. Okay. And this is PTS here. Yeah. Yeah. What's he complaining about? Expected due to this. That's a really helpless, or not helpful log. Oh, he doesn't like this. There we go. And then this should be an option U size. Yep. And then on each of these guys, we can say if sum car seek car pause is equal to seek. Oh my god, what the fuck we call it? Scroll part. Scroll car pause is equal to some scroll car pause. Yes, okay, okay. We can calculate the rectangle. So you just say time pause to text pause. But this isn't time pause anymore. This is car pause. There we go. This is all coming together. It's coming together, guys. So this is car pause, text pause. Given the scroll car pause, yes. The galley that we're looking at, and the response rect left top. Yes. Yes, okay. What's going on here? Is it near like this, maybe? Mismatch types expected bool found this. Oh, if let sum. I know how to use this language. I know how to use this language. Don't worry about it. Okay, so all of this is just going to be... I guess we need the start and end position of the galley as well. Galley, start, car, galley, end, car. And then it's everything in this if statement, I guess. Almost. Almost everything in this if statement. Not quite everything, but almost everything. So we'll say if pause is greater than or equal to galley, start car, and pause is less than galley, end car. Galley, end car. That sounds like such a funny, like it sounds like a, I don't know. Sounds like something. This is pause, oopsies. Pause relative to the galley start. All of this stuff is the same. This is going to return an option rect. This might not be here, which means that if this is not true, we return none. Okay. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Now, if we get through all of this, we have, this is galley top left X. This is galley top left Y. And then we just return this rectangle. Okay. Sum cursor rect. So we now have the rectangle. We should have the rectangle associated with this position. So we should be able to say, let sum rect is equal to this, but we need to pass in some other stuff, which is the galley, or start IDX and end IDX. With all of this information, we should be able to say UI scroll to rect rect. Okay, so after we execute a seek now, we should see it jump to the right position. We should see it. Let's see.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
Okay, so if I jump here, it's full of shit. Oh, is it because it wasn't generated? Oh, maybe that was past the end of the generated text. Jump to the beginning? Jump to the very beginning? doesn't feel like it's consistent. Right, so if we go, what's like the end of this? Seems possible. What is this? This is really bad.
Big number as well. Number 2.
Oh, maybe that's fine. Okay, so we're all the way over here. So if I click here, like, where the fuck is the cursor? It's here. What about here? It's there. What about here? Like, why is it only sometimes jumping? Right, like, what the fuck? Like, what is happening here? Like, why didn't it jump? That worked? That did not work. That did not work. That did not work. That worked. What? Okay. So, let's see if, let's, like, log here. Print line. We will say, we want to scroll. And here we'll say, we know where to go. And, let's get rid of those skipping logs for now, because they're fucking annoying. I want those out of my fucking way. Okay. Let's try that. Is the video editor or a side quest? You're either asking, are we working on the video editor or are we working on a side quest? Or you're asking if the whole video editor is a side quest. And I don't know which one you're asking. But this is not a side quest. Okay. So here we say we want to scroll. So a lot of these guys are saying we want to scroll, but we don't know where to go. But we might have not generated that far yet. So this is how far we've generated, up to 3074. So if I go here, all of these guys are saying we want to scroll, but they don't know where to go, which is kind of interesting. So it might depend on, like, we might be getting timestamps that don't correspond to a specific character position. That's interesting. Interesting. So, did you fix the subtitles thing? It works, like, pretty well. I'm, like, pretty happy with this level of timestamps, like, or subtitles. They feel like they read pretty well. I, like, adjusted the heuristics a little bit for, like, which words we discard, and it's like it gets it right for the most part. And then I also, like, increased the size of the window that we're sending to Whisper, so it's, like, less frequent that we have a chance to fuck it up. And then I put breaks on periods, question marks, and exclamation points, so that feels, like, decent. Like, this is readable. So I'm happy enough with it. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Good enough is the motto around here. Okay. Char pause to text pause. So in what cases will this not find anything? So it might be that the galley does not contain the character position. So let's maybe say, maybe we'll log here. Character position is some value. And then we will tell ourselves if we found it. We'll say, like, found galley for pause. Then down here, we'll probably look for, are there any, like, early returns from here? No. If we make it here, then we're good. So surely this isn't giving us any information. We're just going to find out that it doesn't find a galley, like, it's not going to find a galley for that position. That is what we're going to learn. So, here. We want to scroll. Character position 6,714. $6,843. So it's just that the galley start character and the galley end character, where do these come from? These come from start index, which comes from galley's start index and end index here. Okay. So what the fuck is going on here? End index is the minimum of the text length and split indices. So I don't understand why there's never... We should always have one. Because it looks like what we're doing is we're going, like, 0 to, like, A, non-inclusive, Then we're going A to B, non-inclusive. We're going B to C, non-inclusive. That's how I'm reading this code, how it feels like it should be. And so in what world is there not a correct galley for every character position? So unless like the length of the string is a problem, but I don't see why it would be, because S is just like the whole input. Okay. So what the fuck is going on there? Let's double check our condition. It's that if we're greater than or equal to the start position and we're less than the end position, and we're double checking that those are coming from the right spot. So this is coming from start index, end index, and start index and end index are coming from this, which is coming from this. It's like, what the fuck is the problem? I guess we just have to log all these. We just have to. Print line, galley goes from start index to end index. And I guess we kind of want, let's do the math notation like this. I like this notation. Do you prefer an active chat, or is it maybe too distracting from the coding? I mean, I don't really mind it. Like, sometimes I might ignore. It's not the end of the world. So are these, like, contiguous? They do feel pretty contiguous. And also, logging it like this is actually a pain in the ass. We probably only want to log the galleys if we fail to find this. Found galley for position. Is it possible that we're like exiting out of this if statement in some way? No. We're getting to the point where it says we want to scroll. We're failing to find the position. Oh wait, but this is gonna happen. Of course, this is gonna happen. This is expected. It is expected that sometimes we will not get the right answer because we are running this code for every single galley. So if we're like, we want to scroll to position like 5555, and we go 555 here, no, here, no, here, no, here, yes. So this is an expected log. So we kind of went down the wrong path here. We went down the wrong path. So what we should do is we should log this here. If scroll car pause is sum. And let's see if we get a we know where to go for each one of those. Did we get rid of that other print line? We did, okay. We did. So let's double check this.
Yo, what's up?
Shut the fuck up. We want to scroll car pause. Wait, hold on. Let's get rid of these. It's a little bit of a annoying log.
Yo.
Okay. We want to scroll. But he's not always saying that he knows where to go. Let's double check this. So we have a scroll area function that is called. In here, we look over every single galley. And we logged every single galley here, and it was fine. Now, if... Oh, I'm an idiot. This shouldn't be in here. We're just doing it only in the galley that has the current character position, which is not what we want. We want the scroll pause and the galley pause are completely independent. God damn it. I got confused. Let me just do this. That is all we had to do. Maybe here is where it makes sense. A little bit of a too far nested if. This is probably why long-ass functions are a problem for me. I just get lost on like what level of context we're in, and this just wouldn't have happened if that was like clearer. But it is what it is. I can write shit code and then eat the consequences.
Yo, what's up?
All right. Okay, that's much better. So let's make sure that it's scrolling to the right spot. Click here. Yep. Click here. Yep. Click here. Yep. Click here. Yep. So what's happening here? It's probably just a little off screen. Yeah, it is. Which we can live with. Yeah, that feels fine. That feels good, not gonna lie. Long ass functions are a problem for me too. I have many more errors and functions longer than one screen. Yeah, I mean, I struggle with just like the level of there's like people complain that you need to hold too much context in your head when you have to jump through so many levels of functions to get to where you want. But I kind of feel the opposite, is that like I can't keep track of more than like a few variables at a time very effectively. And so like for me, it's just like using functions to limit like scope of how many things that could be going on in one place is important for me. But and then I ignore it because I'm like, I don't want to do it. And then it fucks me. Oh yeah, that feels good. That feels so fucking good. For the most part. Occasionally it's a little bit off, but I don't care. And in reality, I was gonna, like, before I wanted to go the other way too. I wanted to, like, if I'm zoomed in here, like when I click here, go to the right spot. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I do. I was gonna say that I can just zoom out, but zooming out and in every time is gonna be painful, right? You can imagine that you're gonna be working, like, in an area like this, and you're gonna, like, jump over here, and you're gonna be like, where the fuck am I? Yeah, people used to recommend short functions for clarity. Then in reaction, people recommended not making too many functions. Now it seems we need a careful balance. It actually is crazy that almost everything has nuance, right? What a crazy thought. What a crazy thought. Sometimes it's not, it's a little, not always obvious. Good functions don't force you to keep calling context in your head because they're independent. Yeah, that's how I like to think of it too. But I'm also quite a skimmer. Like, I know that there's people who think very differently than me, which is something that is important to remember, right? Like, I find that not just like in code, but everywhere. I like can't really focus for like a whole conversation with someone, and so I just try to like piece back together what I think the conversation is based off of like whichever parts I happen to listen to, which means that like I'm pretty good at filling in blanks. Right, because I just I just zone out and then zone back in. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is going on? Okay, I know how to piece together this, like what's going on from like the few context clues I have around, right? So short functions are fine for me because like I'm just like, oh, okay, like well, I can guess based off of the name that it's probably doing this thing, but I can see that somebody who is much more context. Like if you always have all of the context, you can like learn to leverage that. And so then when you're like reading a code base, maybe your skimming isn't as good and you need to like read the thing top to bottom, right? I've heard people talk about reading code from the start to the end of the file. I'm like, I've literally never done that in my entire fucking life, ever. And I probably will never do that because I just like won't be able to pay attention long enough. But like I understand that that's how some people like to read things, and I can see how that person would struggle more with like that type of code. So to each their own, I guess. What's nice about being able to write your own code is that you can choose whatever the fuck you want. What were we doing? Right, we were gonna seek the timeline based off of where we click the other way. So it's just the same thing, but the other direction. Okay, so when we render our progress bar, I guess we should git add-u, git commit -m smiley face as a little checkpoint. Which we will clean up later. But when we look at the progress bar, we probably want to do the same shit. Been following along on YouTube, good to catch your screen. Yeah, pretty sick. Good to have you. Good to have you. So here we're gonna look for like seek. No, not handle clip creation. Wherever we call render this widget, we're going to want to pass in seek pause as an option F32. Yep. Or I guess show pause, seek pause. What do we call it? Scroll pause. Scroll to pause. Yeah, there we go. And I guess in this, the way it works is we have like our timeline, and we have like a position on the timeline that is like our view center. And when we like pan and zoom around here, we basically change like the zoom level, which will kind of like determine like how far away these bounds will go, and the center position. So all we have to do is change the center position to the position we asked for. Yeah, that's fine. That's easy. That's really straightforward, actually. So all we should have to do is we have this like position converter here. We don't even need that. We don't even need that. We don't even need that. Just at the end of this, we just say like if seek pause, if let sum scroll to pause is equal to scroll to pause, then we just go to that position. Self pan. Where does handle pan go? Pan goes into widget center norm. Yeah, so widget center norm is equal to the normalized position of that thing. So it's just scroll to pause over state total runtime. Yeah. Okay. Oh, fuck me. No, that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good because if we're seeking within a timeline on the bottom, it will continually move where we just went to the center of the screen, which is going to be fucking annoying. We should only do this. We should only do this if we are out of bounds. So we can say like, if scroll to pause is out of, so we have widget center norm. And this relates to the zoom level in some way. So the zoom level is going to be, if we're zoomed in a lot, we're going to see a small amount of the screen. So we have self zoom, 1 over self zoom, is going to be how far we can see at once in normalized coordinates. Then we have to half this. So we'll say like let min visible is equal to this minus half visible. And then we'll just say let half visible is equal to 0.5 over this. Yes. Is Rust one of your strongest, most comfy stacks? I've worked with a lot of Rust, so it's probably up there. Yeah. I was looking through Whisper CPP after the last VOD. It seems like you can also influence how the model generates text. The diarization flag does something similar, i.e. if you want to censor swear words, you can just adding F to F star S star param makes every future swear word generate in the same style. Oh, interesting. Diarization flag. Interesting. That's kind of cool. I mean, I have no need to censor, but I'm sure that like there's probably useful features that I haven't poked into that I would want to use. I thought they could help with formatting. Oh, interesting. Yeah, there could be something there. I'll have to take a look. I'll look off stream. Thank you for the advice. Appreciate it. Okay. So we'll say that our scroll pause normalize is equal to this. And if scroll pause norm is less than min visible, or scroll pause norm is greater than max visible, then we just set widget center norm to scroll pause norm. That feels like it might work. Like maybe. Not really 100% on that, but it feels like it could work. I think that right now we allow scrolling like off the screen, which is going to that's going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass. But this might be good enough. This might be good enough. As we have said many times, good enough. Okay, let's try that. Let's try that. So clicking here shouldn't do anything crazy. If I zoom in on an area and start scrolling around, again, nothing crazy is happening. But if I go off screen, yeah. So if I scroll off screen, it just like totally fucks itself, which is kind of reasonable because it keeps going like, wait, you scrolled off the screen, let me set that to the middle, and just then it does that like 60 times a second, and you just like shoot to the edge of the screen. But other than that, like, is it okay? Like if I go scroll up here, let's just keep going like really far back. Yeah, I mean, I think that was working. Let's see. Let's go like, so right now we're at 149.32, and we jump all the way back to 208. Hell yeah, dude. And down here we go 68. Okay, and then if I scroll in here, oh yeah, it's sick. Wait, that's really good. Yeah, that feels actually usable, right? Because then we can go here and we can like start a clip, and then we can go to like the end of this paragraph, and we can just be like, okay, we'll extend this to over the. It's not great, but it's like, oh, wait, that's actually kind of sick too. I didn't consider this, but this will automatically scroll that as well. Okay, so let's try the use case again. So let's say that we want to take this paragraph. Okay, so we're gonna start something here, and we're just gonna keep going until we get to like here. And then we're gonna kind of like take this guy over here and kind of like try to pull him to the edge of eGUI. What the fuck? It's like GUI framework called eGUI. Then we can like kind of pull this in here. That's not awful. That's not awful. Let's try again. So like, let's say I want this. eGUI. And the other. So this is like here. This is a little off for some reason. The other. That's fine. The OpenGL widget. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's not awful. Not awful. That's like actually like, this is probably good enough, to be honest, to like actually use. We'll see, but. Oh, that feels so good. The fact that it snaps is actually like so useful. So, does it make the sense for make the audio waveform vertical to sync with the transcription? Let me think about that. I think there's inherent wrapping issues with the two of those. Right? Like, with English, you really want to read it this way. And so you kind of have like waveform going like this, but you are kind of right that there is also some form of like, if you were just to take the minimum and maximum here, you do have something that could do this as well. But I think you would probably more likely, like, I don't think that this is useful ever. I don't think. Because you want to be, like, the level of detail where the audio waveform is actually useful is per word boundaries, right? Like the only real reason to use this thing is so that I can kind of clip out dead space like this, right? And so I don't believe that having a larger overview vertically would help. You know what I mean? But I had to step through it to get there. Do you want to be able to create clips from the text widget too? Yes, for sure. For sure, I want to show and create clips from the text widget, which is only a few steps away from happening. We can easily accomplish that today. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So we'll say create, visualize. Let me think about this. Let me think for a second. Because if I'm trying to sort like what we implement by the things that will give me like the best usability, I actually don't know if clipping based off the text is what I want. Because I think that the text is never accurate enough. And that is, like, I think that almost every time I want to be tweaking the edges of where the clip starts and ends. So, right, like here, I would want to come like back here. So, but that's like, this part of the text seems to be attributed to the word position in some way. So, right, so I think that the way that this is going to end up working is I'm going to use the text as like a coarse search, CX, and then I will refine based off of like the waveform. CX, right? I think. Right, so if I want like finally caught you live, no answer. That's a bad example because I'm just like fucking mumbling. But if I'm looking for like remember, but I will like come in here and start here, right? So I don't actually think it might be useful to show the clips on here. And of course, like I might as well go all the way. But in terms of like usability, I don't think it actually matters that much yet. But it does matter for prettiness. Actually, I guess showing them as I'm skimming through here, knowing what is currently in the video is probably quite important. So at the very least, we should render it on here. I'm not so convinced right now that I want to create clips based off this, but rendering clips based off this seems useful, because then as I'm scrolling, I can be like, oh, okay, so I included welcome back everybody, and I included this stuff, and I skipped this stuff in the middle. Was that intentional? Do I want to add it back? Like, those are like things that I might want to look at. So let's do that. Let's do show clips in text view. Is editing the transcription scope? Definitely not. That sounds like you would, like, how would you even do that, right? Like, how would you, well, I guess it depends what you mean. I'm imagining, I've seen other people talk about like adding words, like getting in here and typing. I guess deleting words is something that you could do, although I think our timestamps aren't accurate enough for deletion to work okay. Like again, like I was saying, I think that like I'm always going to be falling back on the audio view. But people have talked about typing stuff in there and it's showing up. And I think other tools, I think like Descript, which people have been talking about, does support that. But that's like so far out of scope for me. I don't really care about like using an AI to generate my voice to fill in the gaps is like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. So I would probably just like if I'm editing my video, I can just use my own voice. Why would I make a computer do it for me? Right? I can just hey, editor Mick here, I'd just like to make a correction, you know? Okay. Yeah, okay. Show clips and text view. I think that is necessary. I think that's necessary. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, you're saying like tune the output of Whisper. That doesn't sound like, how do I want to say this? Like, is it worth it? I think that if there was another use for the text that was generated, like maybe, right? I can already imagine like, I've been watching some like music production streams a little bit, and sometimes they'll like import a waveform and then they will kind of like adjust, they will like grab a point on the waveform and pull it to line up with the beat. And so I can imagine you could do a similar UI here where you kind of have like starts and ends of words and you can kind of like pull them to line up with the actual audio. Kind of like the reverse way. But I don't see why I would need that. Right? It would help to make the transcription more correct and reliable, but I don't think I need a correct and reliable transcription. Because the only reason I'm using the transcription is to cut up the video. And so it's like, why does it fucking matter? You know? I'm probably misunderstanding your motivating use case. Yeah, the use case is I am trying to clip video, and starting from words is faster than scrubbing the video by ear. Is essentially like the value prop. Ew, I should never say the fucking words value prop. How fucking gross. Who am I? What have I become? Okay. God, I'm not trying to influence your priorities, just understand them. Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I would ignore you if I didn't want to talk about it. Corporate would be proud. Yeah. Ugh. MVP, value prop. Scrum. Okay. So, we have the ability now to go from any arbitrary character position and any arbitrary timestamp position. We could get that, we can turn that into galley positions. So I guess, let me think about this for a second. We have the start and end of a clip. This gets a little complicated, actually. I think this gets a little complicated. So we have galleys that are kind of independent from each other. And we're going to have, like, say you have a clip that goes over this boundary like this. How would we want to render that? You kind of want to draw, like, something that looks like this, probably, where you kind of draw maybe lines over each chunk of text. And so here, I guess we want to maybe go, we're maybe a level too low, right? Because we were going from, this is like galley position starts here. And so we're kind of saying, well, within a galley, for each, like as we're walking and rendering the galleys, we say, do I have a position in here? And that makes something like this kind of hard. What makes more sense probably is going from like audio position to not galley position, but like, I don't know what I want to call it, scroll position, right? So then we could go, if this is galley 1, then we could say, okay, we have this, the start of the clip is at galley 1, X 50, Y, or maybe we go X1, row 3, column 5, to galley 2, position, or row 2, column 10. Is probably what we would want to do. And then we would have to have like some special rendering rules for the rectangle to like line up with those spots. And I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at the 20-minute clock left before it's 2 hours, and I'm saying that sounds like a lot of work. So I think, although I think this is useful and the right thing to do, I think we are going to, as we say in corporate world, put a pin in that since we're on this topic, and we'll come back to it tomorrow. So I think this is a good natural stopping point. We've made good progress for the day. Like, this is super sick what we have right now. Park that. Yeah. Park that, put a pin in it, circle back. We'll circle back tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, what we have right here is like actually like super, super fucking useful, right? We can come here, we can like find the start and end of a paragraph, right? We can like say, where does it start? Where does it end? We can like draw a box around that whole thing, adjust in audio space. It's actually coming together. This text is like legible now. And the fact that I can like jump to a position here and it scrolls it, wonderful. So I'm happy with that progress. So yeah, we'll call it there. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll work on showing these selected clips in the text. And if we get through that quickly, then we can work on like the other UI features that we wanted, which is like show clips or split text clip in half, merge overlapping clips. But I think this will take, I hope that will take enough time. Well, like a full stream's worth. We'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, we stream most days at around 2 o'clock Pacific time for around 2 hours. Today was a little shorter. Sometimes we go a little longer. It's around 4 o'clock Pacific time now, almost. So those of you who are watching live, anywhere between 2 hours ago and now, because it's a 2-hour stream, right? We can do the math. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're gonna have to figure out when Pacific time is for you if you want to swing by. There is a YouTube link in the Twitch description if you want to go catch up, see what else we've been working on. So we have like our shit organized into playlists, things in here that you might find interesting: operating system, terminal emulator, zlib and zig, QR decoder, right? So right now we're working on this video editor, but we kind of trend towards low-level shit that we find interesting, right? Low-level, just like out of, not necessarily because we want to, but just because we do. We kind of end up there. What else? If you're watching on YouTube, there should be a Twitch link in the YouTube description where you can swing by, say hi. There's a GitHub link in the Twitch description if you want code for the stuff that we're working on. Like, subscribe, ew, Twitch Prime, ew, but and we'll say bye to YouTube, and Twitch, let's figure out who to raid.